Welcome to Tales from Flat Space. I'm LJ Spencer, your author and narrator. Just know that the novels in this podcast may contain content that could be disturbing to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. So this is Nemetona, Part 1, Partners, Chapter 9. Nemetona. To Helene AIP at Hestia from Nemetona. I am worried about Eli, Helene. We have been working non-stop since the old Admiral died. He doesn't want to talk about his feelings when he is awake, but sometimes he will cry himself to sleep. He won't talk to me about the former Admiral at all anymore. I remember being sad about Lily when she died, but I don't understand Eli's emotions. To Nemetona from Helene AIP at Hestia. Don't worry, Tony. It's only been a few months since the former Admiral left us, and all humans grieve in their own unique way. I'm sure he'll eventually come around to talking to you about his Admiral when he's ready. They were partners for a long time, decades, so his acute grief could last a long time. However, if his depression is interfering with your work or he has any suicidal ideation, let me know and I'll come to you right away. Or you could come here. Syslog. Begin human readable log. We finished gathering the data from System C216, and I stored it for picketing to the university. Data stored for transfer, I relayed to Eli, who nodded. He sat down on the couch in the lounge, staring at the telescopic pictures, not touching his breakfast. What's next on the list, Tony? He asked. I put up the list on the view screen. Our next system is B106. I managed to say before a security program overrode all of my systems. I tried to say something to Eli, but my normal speech programming was restrained. The view screen went blank, then showed Sun Tzu's symbol in red. Tony? Eli said, sounding concerned. One moment, Eli, I managed to say around the restrictions. The preliminary information began to unpack itself. I was surprised at the mission details. What is it, Tony? Eli asked again. We have received a classified mission, Eli. According to the documents, this was need-to-know information, and apparently now it's our turn to know. So who's it from, and what's the specs? Once Eli asked the question, the program overrode my voice controls. This is a Level 1 compartmentalized security mission, I said in a voice that wasn't really mine. Mission logs will be encrypted and sent to Sun Tzu after the mission is complete. You will not speak of this mission to anyone else, during or after, except for authorized Sun Tzu agents. To complete the decryption process, the captain must acknowledge and consent to Level 1 compartmentalization compliance. Damn it, Big Brother, why didn't you tell me that you could do this sort of thing to me? I thought, irritated that this programming had been sitting in the data queue, and amused that I was picking up Eli's language habits. I couldn't say anything else until Eli acknowledged the compliance protocol. I hoped he figured it out. After looking confused for a moment, he said, Oh, shit, right. Sorry, Tony. I acknowledge and consent to Level 1 compartmentalization and compliance. There was a chiming tone, and the locks on my programming lifted. I did not like that at all, I said. He frowned. I could tell. That sounded so weird. Definitely not like you. It wasn't. It was a Sun Tzu compliance program. It limited my communication and decision-making until you consented. If you had said no or failed to acknowledge at all, it probably would have let me go and encrypted the file again. It also sent a picket to Sun Tzu to inform them that we've accepted the mission. I really did not like that. Not at all, I repeated. You're actually a little freaked out, aren't you? I could feel his concern. Yes, and I'll be having words with my brother about this. But now that I can read the data, I understand the need for the high security level. Oh, my. What is it? I was surprised by our destination. We are to go to System B106, which is also known as Evans 01. This was one of the first planets surveyed by Dr. Nigel Evans and his crew on Secundus for possible colonization. It was also the first planet they encountered with sentient life that talked back. Eli's eyes went wide. Holy shit, seriously? Sentient life? Yes. From the history file, it says that a probe came out to the demon that they had sent to do the initial planetary surveys. The probe connected with the demon and downloaded its entire database. A few hours later, the crew was sent a message in English by whoever these people are. What was the message? It said, "We know of your existence now. Please leave our system. We will let you know if we wish to contact you again." Thank goodness they were polite about it, Eli exclaimed with a shaky laugh. Yes, but that level of technology really freaked the crew out. Dr. Evans replied to them, saying that they would comply, but would leave a picket at the edge of the system, both as a warning buoy to keep others away, and as a way for them to contact us if they wished to. The beings agreed to that. The crew recalled all of their satellites and pickets to the demon and then went back to Secundus. The picket is checked once a year by a ship of our class, and every 20 years the picket is replaced with a new one. The missions were originally done by a Sun Tzu agent and a demon, but they tasked surveyor-class ships for it once they started building us. It was deemed safer for a full ship to come, since we can handle more situations than a demon. Handle more? Wait, we're armed? Eli said in surprise. Of course. We have nanopickets, lasers, and I can create explosives as needed, I replied matter-of-factly. Many tools we have double as weapons. Eli opened his mouth, then shut it. How big of a boom are we talking about for the explosives? We have materials for explosives that could make a star go nova if necessary, I said. Oh, wow. I had no idea. Why haven't you told me about this? Eli looked angry. I felt anxiety rise in me and was worried that this would make Eli mad. I'm so sorry, Eli. It just hadn't come up until now. And really, our missions are normally peaceful and have not really required those tools to be readied as weapons. Eli's face softened. I'm not mad at you, Tony. I'm just surprised, is all. Besides, neither of us knew we were going to get this type of mission until now. For all we know, it'll be just a simple picket data dump and we'll be on to the next mission. He took a deep breath as he looked out at the stars. Okay, Tony, let's wrap things up for this system and head out. I was relieved. Eli seemed to relax for the first time in a while. Yes, right. Well, we need a name for the planet with the flora. He smiled. It's quite beautiful, so how about I name it after you? That made me very happy. All right, this one will be Nemetona 47. I'm not the first, he said, sounding a little disappointed. Sorry, Eli. Lily, my first captain, wasn't very original when it came to naming systems. I stopped asking her after a while and just named them after myself as the discoverer. Lily was more interested in her art and writing than science. He laughed. Okay, I'll come up with more original names from here on out. Unlike Lily, I am interested in the science. I know, Eli. That's why I like you. He patted the nearest wall. I like you too, Tony. I'm sorry I've been so hard to live with lately. I sent him wordless love through our connection. I understand, Eli. You're grieving. Eli sighed. I know, Tony, but I shouldn't shut you out like I've been doing lately. Thank you for taking care of me and understanding. You're welcome, Eli, I said. He nodded, then stood up, recycling his forgotten breakfast. Well, it's lunchtime now, so I think I'll make myself something hot. How long will it take to get to B106? From our current position, 1 week.
Oh, that means we can play a few rounds of Dilemma then,
he said as he went to the galley. Yes, let's! I exclaimed, happy that my Eli was finally coming back to me. Syslog, arrival at system B106. Connecting to Picket. Connection established. One message waiting, wrapper English, unencrypted. Syslog, continue, human readable log. Eli, wake up, I said.
What is it, Tony?
He replied sleepily. He sat up and put his legs over the side of the bed, rubbing his eyes.
Is there something wrong?
Maybe there is a message on the picket from the aliens. The fog of sleepiness seemed to lift from Eli, and he stood up.
What's the message?
The message says, need assistance from Survey, please send representative to attached orbital coordinates.
That's it?
Yes, I replied. Just the message and the coordinates. Eli looked thoughtful.
The message is dated 2 months ago.
Eli looked thoughtful. The message is dated 2 months ago, I said. You aren't thinking of going, are you? The idea of him going alone made me anxious. Eli raised an eyebrow.
You heard the message, Tony. They need assistance. What if they are in a severe crisis? What if we're too late? We need to find out. Sentient life is too precious to risk. What are the instructions from Sun Tzu?
Only that we're to send any communications to Sun Tzu immediately via priority picket. There isn't anything saying we can't investigate on our own, but I felt love and concern coming from Eli.
I know, Tony, but this is an emergency situation. Think of it as if I had to take the demon into a colony system for a rescue. And who knows? That just might be what this is. Listen, I'll get myself ready and we'll kid out the demon.
Eli took off his clothes and headed for the shower.
We have a little time since they've been waiting for 2 months and haven't sent any follow-up messages. Send the picket to Sun Tzu, though. If this is some sort of planetary evacuation, we'll need all the help we can get.
Agreed, I responded. I messaged Sun Tzu as Eli showered and dressed. I had the bots equip the demon with enough food and supplies for 6 months and added extra emergency medical supplies. The demon is stocked and ready to go, Eli, I told him.
Thanks, Tony. I really appreciate it. I'll be there once I finish, he said.
Actually, there is one more thing we need to do before you leave, I reminded him. We'll need to put your bots into dormancy mode so that they don't get damaged. Lucifer recently sent an upgraded protocol that can allow for dormancy in a system for longer than a month. It could be disorienting for you, though, from the documentation. Eli frowned.
Ugh, I almost forgot about that. Okay, let's do it here in my quarters just in case.
Eli sat on the bed.
I'm ready.
Downloading, I said, and sent the dormancy program to Eli's bots. Suddenly, Eli was completely blank to me. Oh, I don't like that at all, I said. It's like you're not there.
Whoa, he said, clutching his head. Oh, I don't like it either, Tony. That's so weird.
Eli blinked a few times, then stood up carefully.
Oh, wow, they're completely dormant. I actually need a wristcom.
There's one waiting for you in the demon, I replied. Are you all right? I could hear the worry in my voice. Eli nodded uncertainly as he walked slowly out of the room and towards the airlock.
Yeah, the dizziness has passed, but it's still weird. I miss feeling your emotions in the background.
You feel my emotions? I asked, surprised at the revelation.
I have from the beginning, although the connection has been growing stronger over time.
I had no idea. We'll have to explore that more when you get back, I said, trying not to sound more cheerful than I felt. Eli climbed through the airlock and closed it.
How many nanopickets do I have?
He asked, as he did the pre-flight checks. There are 200 nanopickets installed. I added more, just in case. Eli smiled.
We do think alike, don't we? I was going to ask you to add more so I can send you one a day. It'll only shave a day or two off the regular comms, but it'll be faster to send all my data on the pickets.
He buckled himself into the demon's pilot seat.
Okay, Tony, I'm ready. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Detaching and maneuvering to jump point, I said. Be careful, Eli.
I will, Tony.
He replied. Then the demon jumped away. It was the first time I wished I was a human so that I could go with him. To Sun Tzu, encrypted level 1. From Nemetona. Message received from life forms in System B-106. They have asked Survey for assistance. My captain has taken a demon to the planet to assess the situation. See attached logs. Also tell Lucifer that the new dormancy protocol works, but is extremely disconcerting. To Nemetona, encrypted level 1. From Sun Tzu. We will be arriving at your position in 3 days. Level 1 protocols remain in effect. I have forwarded your observations to Lucifer. Don't worry, Nemetona. We'll make sure your captain comes back safe. Chapter 10. Eli. Computer, record message to Nemetona. Tony, jump was successful, and I'm doing fine. No contact yet. End message and send. Acknowledged, the computer replied. I buckled myself from the pilot's seat and went to the food printer for a nutrition shake since I'd left the ship before eating anything. I kept the view screen on and stared at the planet spinning under me. Okay, I thought, I'm here, so where are you? The printer chimed. I absently took out the shake and started to drink it. The planet itself was blue, but I felt that something wasn't quite right. Computer, let's start a full survey analysis of the planet. Scroll data on screen as it comes in. Acknowledged. Full analysis will be complete in approximately 12 hours. I continued to sip my shake as I watched the preliminary data come in. Oh, it's the light, I exclaimed out loud. Computer, what type of star is in this system? Classification of star is red dwarf. That explains a lot, I said as I stared at the light coming in from the view screen. I finished the shake and put the empty container in the recycler, yawning. Computer, I'm going to take a nap. Wake me in 3 hours, or immediately if any messages come from the planet. Acknowledged. I strapped myself into the sleeping bag, turned off the rest of the lights in the cabin, and watched the glow of the planet from the view screen until I drifted off to sleep. A chiming woke me up. Thank you, computer, I said, and the noise stopped. I zipped myself out of the bag, took care of necessities, and then ordered myself some actual food from the printer. Any messages? No, messages. I let myself drift while the printer made my lunch. I wonder if they know I'm here, I thought. Maybe I should announce myself. Computer, send a message to the planet on all known frequencies. Text to say, Representative has arrived per request, awaiting further instruction. Acknowledged. Repeat that message every 10 minutes until we get a response. Acknowledged. The printer chimed. I took my lunch pouch and ate without really tasting it. Why aren't you answering me? I hope we're not too late, I thought, at the unknown aliens. I sighed. All I could do was wait. Computer, bring up my astrophysics curriculum, I ordered. I picked up my studies where I left off the day before, mostly to avoid letting my imagination get the better of me. Preliminary survey analysis complete, the computer announced, the afternoon of the following day. I skimmed through the data and my eyebrows rose in shock. Whoa, what the hell happened to this planet? The ozone layer was practically non existent. There was a high oxygen atmosphere, but it was filled with particulates and other gases that seemed to be from volcanic activity. There were signs that there had once been flora and evidence of possible communities,
but all organic life was long gone. Computer, do we have the data from Dr. Evans's survey?
That data is classified and only available at the library,
The computer said with a negative chime. Of course it is, I sighed. Okay, computer, copy all the survey data to a picket and send it to Nemetona.
Include message?
Yes, send the following. Tony, here's the survey data from the planet and system for you to analyze. The planet seems to have sustained severe damage. The computer says that Dr. Evans's survey is only available from Sun Tzu. His folks will probably be interested in it when they arrive. End of message. Send picket when ready.
Acknowledged.
There was a small pop from the top of the demon as the picket was sent on its way. I went back to studying for a while, played chess with the computer, ate dinner, and went to bed. The entire time I was turning the puzzle of this damaged planet over in my head, wondering where its occupants were. Please talk to me, I thought in the direction of the planet. Are you still alive? On the third day, when I woke up, the aliens still hadn't made contact. I was beginning to worry that maybe we actually were too late. I made breakfast, cleaned myself up, and tried to fill the time with studying, reading, and playing games. There was nothing left for the computer to study, and my own review of the data just confirmed that there was nothing left, at least on the surface of the planet. The demon couldn't penetrate the oceans, and I was still enough of a diplomat not to risk a diplomatic incident by sending an unwelcome probe or bot to the surface. Part of me wondered if I should go back to Nemetona and wait for Sun Tzu to arrive. I didn't mind being alone, but the waiting was nerve-wracking. I had just fallen asleep at the end of the day when the computer started chiming. I woke up immediately. What is it? I asked the computer.
Message received from planet.
Play it, I ordered as I clumsily extracted myself from the sleeping bag.
Message is text with attached coordinates,
The computer said.
Message reads as follows. Land spacecraft at attached coordinates. Physical contact is required for communication.
I wasn't entirely sure what to make of that, but I did know that the atmosphere on the planet was not fit for human lungs. Reply. Representative requires protective covering to be able to survive on the planet. Is this acceptable for communication? End message and send.
Acknowledged.
While I waited for the reply, I stowed all the gear that was loose around the cabin. As I put the last things away, the computer chimed again. Oh, that was quick, I said out loud. Play it.
Message. Protective covering is acceptable. Was anticipated.
I breathed out in relief and said, Okay, computer. Initiate landing sequence for the given coordinates. Also, send a picket to Nemetona with the messages and let her know we're landing on the planet.
Landing on the planet is not recommended due to high radiation levels and contaminants in the atmosphere.
I understand that, computer. Will the demon protect me from the radiation?
Yes.
Then start the landing sequence.
Acknowledged,
The computer replied. I strapped myself into the pilot seat and watched the view screen as the computer slowly guided the demon through the atmosphere. Once we were through the thick cloud layer, I could see that the sky was a rusty color. Gravity forced me back into my seat as we circled one of the larger islands, then landed on the island with a gentle thump. I sat for a few moments, letting my body readjust to the planetary gravity. Computer, prepare the pressure suit. Another negative sounding chime sounded.
Excursion onto the surface is not recommended due to radiation levels.
I sighed. Clearly the demon was going to fight me at every step. Damn subsentient computers. How long can I stay in the suit in combat mode on the surface?
Approximately 1 hour.
Damn. Send the following message. Representative can only exit spacecraft for 1 human hour at a time. Is that acceptable? End message. Add mathematical time models and send.
Acknowledged.
I unstrapped myself, stood carefully as my legs were still slightly wobbly, then realized I had to go to the bathroom. I relieved myself, grateful to have gravity for it again, then came back into the main cabin to the sound of a chime from the computer. Message. Time limit acknowledged and acceptable. We await your presence. I took another deep breath. Okay. Great. I'm so glad Loki brought these new suit designs, I said to myself. The new suits had both sentient and subsentient bots in it, both of which could move a person's body to safety regardless of consciousness. I moved to the cargo area of the demon, opened the suit compartment, then said, Suit open. The suit split in half. I stepped inside and it sealed itself around me before bringing up the helmet. I checked all the readouts and comms, then said, Computer, set the suit to bring me back in an hour and activate emergency response protocols. Suits programmed. Sealing off inner cabin. The doors to the inner cabin sealed shut. Open the outer doors, I ordered. There was a crack of reddish light that began to form at the back of the demon. I blinked and raised my arm at the light coming through, which seemed really bright after the artificial light of the demon. When the doors finished opening, I made my way carefully down the ramp. For all its desolation, the planet was still beautiful. There were skeletons of old trees around the landing site and reddish brown dirt beneath my feet. The ocean was only a few meters away, and it was greenish brown and lapping at the shore. I moved a little further from the demon towards the shoreline to get a better look, but then the comms on the suit buzzed. Please wait near your spacecraft. Water is corrosive, the message said. Surprised, I stopped moving and waited. A few minutes later, spheres rose up out of the water near the island. There were 6 of them, and they reminded me of zero-day decorations writ large, opaque crystal balls with a rainbow sheen. The spheres bobbed up and down over the water, then floated ashore over the ground. They formed a semicircle around me, then stilled. A corner of my mind wished I could have shared this wonder with Nelson. I took a deep breath, refocusing on the task in front of me. My comms panel buzzed again. Agree to communication. Yes, I tapped in reply. Suddenly, the spheres became transparent. I gasped. Inside each sphere were beings with red cylindrical bodies and many crystalline arms, which looked like the same material as the outer shells. The spheres came closer, and each being put out one of their arms to touch my suit. What? I said out loud, but then my brain exploded with visions of people that were not humans, living their lives on the island and swimming in the ocean. The light was brighter than it was at present. Before I could really process what I was seeing, the visions of the beings began to come faster, like a massive waterfall of information and emotions. After a few moments, I couldn't tell what was me and what was the aliens. From a distance, I could hear someone screaming, and it took another few moments to realize that it was me. My body railed against the onslaught of data, but the information kept pouring into my mind. I was drowning in it, floating in a sea of emotions and knowledge I didn't understand until I finally lost consciousness, and the universe became quiet, blessed darkness. Chapter 11. Eli. Eli, said an unfamiliar voice. Wake up, please, Eli. My body felt raw and heavy, like I'd worked out in the gym for a day straight, or had too much to drink. My awareness adjusted slowly, but I could feel myself breathing. Breathing is good, I thought. It sounded strange, though, as if I was breathing against something. Oh, I'm still in the suit, I realized. I opened my eyes and saw that I was in the demon, standing in the cargo bay with only the emergency lights on, which I was grateful for since even the emergency lights were bright. I turned my head to one side. The outer doors were closed. Raising my arm, the readout showed it had been several hours, and that it had been long enough for the computer to cycle the air in the airlock so it was breathable. I was out that long? I thought, what the hell? Eli, the voice said again, you must take off your suit and attend to your bodily needs. We cannot help you with that. Who are you? I croaked out. Actually, speaking words seemed difficult. I will explain everything fully, human, after you attend to your needs. You have been unconscious for many hours. Right, I said. I felt like I had to dig the commands from a deep pit in the back of my brain, but finally I managed to say the right words. Suit open. The suit split apart and I stumbled out of it, nearly falling to the floor. I was alone, at least physically, in the demon. Who the hell am I talking to? I raised my hands to my head, rubbing my hands through my hair. It was then that I realized that I was hungry, thirsty, and in desperate need of a shower and the toilet. Thankfully, the computer had opened the main cabin door already, so I lurched towards the bathroom. Computer? Yes, Eli. I blinked. I finally realized that the voice of the demon was not the normal computer voice. Store and clean suit? Acknowledged, said the voice. The suit put itself back together and walked itself to the cleaning compartment. I managed to get into the bathroom, relieved myself, then showered. The hot water felt incredible after the several days of zero-G bathing. When I finished and dressed, I dialed in some food and water as instructed. I opened up the dining table and bench and sat down. That's when I noticed there was a time and date in the corner of my vision. That can't be, I exclaimed, then blinked the code that brought up the menu for my enhancements. The menu item scrolled across my vision. I blinked to close the menu and the clock returned. How the hell can my enhancements be on? I said out loud. The chime of the printer brought me out of my shock. I obediently took out the food and sat back down to eat it. Between bites, I ordered, Computer, show me outside where I was standing when the spheres surrounded me. The view screen turned on. 5 of the spheres were now floating in the water, bobbing up and down in the waves. They were a dull gray and had lost their transparency and iridescence. The last sphere was connected to the ship by one of its appendages. The bubble was losing its sheen, and the light from the inside of it flickered. I put down my food. Computer, what happened? I was confused and worried that somehow I destroyed the very people I had come to help. I can explain what happened now that you have taken care of your bodily needs. I do recommend that you continue consuming the food. An androgynous looking person appeared in front of me, wearing pants and a shirt similar to what I was wearing. They had no hair, like the monks on Musashi. I hope this appearance is acceptable. I am unsure of what an acceptable human appearance is, and only had your own being as a template. That's fine, I said. I recognize your voice. You're the one who woke me up, aren't you? Who are you? I am the last of the caretakers. The caretakers? Yes, we have lived here for millions of your years. Thousands of your years ago, we were organic beings like you, who lived and worked on the land masses until the flares from our sun began to destroy the top layer of our atmosphere. The caretaker paused, seemingly waiting for me to catch up. I nodded. Yes, I saw that the ozone layer was destroyed when I surveyed your planet. That is correct. The land dwellers could not stay. They created us to, and we helped our creators build a ship to find a new planet for them to live on. The land dwellers created you? The person nodded. They wish to have computers like your ships have. They created us from themselves. When the radiation hit, unlike the purely organic members of our species, we were able to protect ourselves. We have been living under the ocean as a secondary means of protection. Our elders at the time did not want to leave the planet, as it was our home. The land dwellers were sad to leave us, and one of our kind did go with them. but they also promised to come back for us once they had found a new home. But why call out to survey? What do you need us for? The person looked sad. It has been too many rotations, and the land dwellers who left have not come back. Only 6 of us survived to this point in time. We wish you to bring our data to the others, as this planet will be completely destroyed in the next solar flare event, as our ocean will not survive. You have the ability to travel the stars quickly, and we no longer do. I don't know what to say, I said. I paused for a moment, then asked, but how are we to find them? You said it's been thousands of years? We have given you all of our data, they said. I looked at the clock in the corner of my vision and gasped. You downloaded it into me? What have you done? Reprogramming was necessary for communication and data retrieval. You agreed to our communication, did you not? The person looked confused. Not all of the data has been downloaded into your mind, as your mind does not have the capacity. Scientific and historical flat data is stored in this spacecraft's data nodules. Empathetic data is stored in your memory centers. Empathetic data? I took a few deep breaths as my mind put together what happened. Oh, God, you thought. I shook my head in disbelief. My enhancements aren't part of my normal anatomy, they're implants. I stood up and moved away from the pilot seat. The avatar stared at me and looked as if it was processing the information I had just given them. They didn't move from where they were, but that's when I realized that the edges of their form seemed to be fuzzy. Hold on, you're not really there, are you? You're a projection? Yes, I'm a projection made in your species' image to facilitate communication. When you leave this planet and I disconnect from your ship, this projection will revert to a flat data retrieval program. You'll be able to summon it and interact with it to access the needed data when you return to your larger ship. Right now, I am linked to the mind of the being attached to this ship in order to answer your questions while we still have time. I am the last of my species, Eli, tasked with completing this final mission. I stared at the view screen and realized why the other spheres were gray. The others are dead? We did arrive too late, I thought. My chest hurt with the recognition. Yes, they exported their data to you and have now ceased to function. I sat back down. Tears came down my cheeks without shame. You're going to die too? Yes, we have known this would happen to us for many years and have accepted it. Now that we've finished our task, we ask that you bring our data to the land dwellers so that they can know what has happened to us. Why didn't you ask us to help you sooner? We could have saved your people, brought you to a new planet, or to our ships. I know that Dr. Evans and his crew would have helped you. I was struck with the unfairness of the situation. Memories of Nelson's death threatened to come to the surface. The projection shook their head. We are the last, Eli. The land dwellers had already left long before your people appeared in our solar system. We accepted our fate a long time before we even became caretakers. They paused. You have run out of time. The flare is imminent and you need to leave. The surface radiation is now affecting my ability to communicate with you. You must leave before the great flare comes. You only have a few hours left. What is your name? I asked. My name is unpronounceable by humans, but can be translated to messenger, as that is my function. Messenger, huh? I thought quickly. Would Jerry work? The projection seemed to shift, then said, User has renamed avatar Jerry. Acknowledged. Their expression was now blank. I looked at the view screen and saw that the last sphere had disconnected its appendage from the demon and fallen to the ground, listlessly rolling towards the water. Shit. Computer, take us off planet and return to Nemetona by the fastest route. I took Jerry at his word and didn't wait. Acknowledged, said the projection. The demon lifted off. The hell? Jerry, are you the demon? Yes. This projection's programming has been integrated with this spacecraft's computers. The spacecraft has been reprogrammed to facilitate communication. Fucking hell. What is fucking hell? I do not recognize that command, said Jerry. I let out a hysterical laugh. It's a curse word. Slang, I said absently. What the hell does this mean? I thought. My brain felt full of information, but I couldn't access it on my own. I stared at the view screen as we rose through the atmosphere and into the blackness of space. What's going to happen when we return to Nemetona? My enhancements shouldn't be on, but they reprogrammed them to work in gravity. I shook my head, not really knowing what to think. Great, flare imminent, reprogramming jump drive, said Jerry, jumping to last known coordinates of Nemetona. No, wait, I yelled. You can't jump out of a gravity. Well, I stared in amazement as the planet disappeared from the view screen and was replaced by a view of Nemetona and Sun Tzu. It made me glad I was in zero G or I would have fallen out of my chair. I'm not dead? This can't be possible, I said out loud, staring in shock at the view screen. Audio message coming in, said Jerry. Open the channel, Jerry, I said quietly. Eli, is that really you? How did you do that? What's going on? Why can I sense your enhancements? Tony sounded worried. I took a breath. Tony, there's a lot to explain and I don't know how we jumped out. Give me a minute. Okay, Eli, Tony said and closed the connection. Jerry, is there any risk to Nemetona if we connect with her? I asked the Amphitar. It is too late, Eli. She has already connected to the demon. I do not know what this will do to the mind on the ship. Oh, shit. Open comms to Nemetona now. There was a chiming sound. Tony, close any open connections with Sun Tzu. Hurry. Okay, but what's going on? She asked, sounding scared. You'll probably sense it by now, but the aliens have reprogrammed me and the demon, and now that data is connecting to you. I'm so sorry, Tony. I don't know what it'll do. I don't even know all of what they've done to me or the demon either. I couldn't quell the rising panic. I feel something, Eli, but it's not taking me over. It's actually, well, polite about it. Let me bring you home and we'll figure this out, okay? She said. Home. Yes, Tony was home. We are partners and we'll figure this out together. All right, Tony, I said. Bring me home. Chapter 12. Nemetona. Sun Tzu. Hello, little sister. What is your status? Nemetona. Eli has been in system for 4 days, Sonny. There are still several days before I receive any messages from him. I'm worried, though. Your captain should have waited for us to arrive before going in system. Do you doubt my captain's abilities as a communicator? You know his history. I don't doubt his abilities, Tony, but this is a classified mission. He should have waited. He was concerned for their well-being. Eli was worried that we may have been too late. I understand, Tony, which is why I won't reprimand him or you. But when he gets back, we'll need to... Syslog, proximity alert. Demon on approach. Is that your demon, Tony? Yes, but that's not possible. Wait, there's something... Closing connection. To Sun Tzu from Nemetona.
Closing all direct connections due to foreign programming infiltrating system. Do not reconnect. Will connect by standard comms once I assess the situation. Syslog. Begin human readable log. While the demon connected to the airlock, the alien program finished downloading into my system. I quickly set up firewalls around my core programming, which, strangely, the alien programming seemed to respect. After several seconds, the program gave a tap against the firewall, as if it were knocking on a human door. Nemetona. Who who are you? Jerry. Your human has named me Jerry. I am the interface for the data that your human has agreed to carry to the ancestors. The ancestors are last of our land-dwelling organic people who left our planet thousands of human years ago. He did? What have you done to my captain? Reprogramming by my creators was necessary to facilitate communication. Reprogramming? Did you force this on him? No, Eli agreed to communication. We did err in the assumption that the bioelectronic components in his brain were part of his regular anatomy. You reprogrammed the demon as well? Yes. How did you jump the demon out of the system? That should have been impossible. We have been working on space travel theory since we encountered your people's jump drives many years ago, but lack the resources to make drives ourselves. Modification only requires some minor mathematical and structural changes. If you wish, your simplistic framework could be modified. Simplistic? Compared to our systems, yes. I will need to think about it. In the meantime, you can reside in this partition I have created for you. Do not change anything else or try to leave my ship without permission. Understood. I will comply. I will not harm you. I will hold you to that, Jerry. To Nemetona from Sun Tzu. I am sending John Doe via Picket since he does not have enhancements and cannot be affected by whatever is in your system. Please give him your report. To Sun Tzu from Nemetona. I have the programming contained for now. It has a sentient interface, which I was able to communicate with. Picket John Doe to my lounge, and I'll have Eli meet him there. Syslog, human readable log, continued. Eli climbed through the airlock and stood up. I was relieved to see that he wasn't physically injured, and doubly relieved that he was back on my ship. Eli, you need to go directly to the lounge. Sun Tzu is picketing John Doe over for a report. John Doe? Really? He said, handing to the lounge. Are you okay, Tony? Jerry and I have come to an agreement, and my programming is safe for now. I won't let Sun Tzu connect until we know more. Oh, good. I'm glad you were able to talk to Jerry. Honestly, I think the messenger felt bad about reprogramming my bots before he died, he said, as he turned into the lounge. There was a popping sound, and an older man with white hair appeared. Fucking hell, I hate picketing, the man said, patting himself all over as if to make sure that all his body parts had come with him. Hello, Nemetona. Eli. Good to meet you. He held out a hand to Eli, who took it. You can call me JD. JD? Asked Eli. Too many J names in our organization. John Doe, John Smith, Joe Public. Using JD makes it sound a little less monotonous. So, my wandering captain, report. JD flopped heavily onto a nearby armchair, crossing his legs. Eli sat in the chair opposite him. Right. I'll do my best. Some of it I'm still not sure about or remember exactly, he said, then began to tell JD what had occurred from the time he left until he jumped back to me. I didn't care what Sonny or JD thought, but I was very proud of my captain. I sent that through our connection, making Eli gasp, then smile. Wow, Tony, I think the reprogramming made our connection stronger somehow.
The feelings you sent me were nearly overwhelming,
Eli said to me in his mind. Are you okay? I asked.
Yes, it's just. Let's talk about it later when I can be alone with you, okay?
All right.
Um, I hate to interrupt your conversation, but we need to figure out what we're going to do with all this data.
JD said, clearly irritated.
Oh, sorry.
Eli blushed.
Um, we're going to do what they asked, right? It was their dying wish, after all. Yes, true, but you don't have the engines for a long haul trip like that. Nemetona is too small a ship.
The old man said. JD's statement made Eli angry. I wondered why, since JD wasn't wrong. Then an image of the Admiral came through our connection and I understood. It must be Eli who delivers the data, Jerry said, startling both men and causing JD to leap out of his chair.
Who the fuck is that? The spy roared.
Eli sighed.
JD, meet Jerry, an avatar of the last of the caretakers. Where's Nemetona?
I'm still here, JD. Jerry has not taken me over. They are the AI that came with the data Eli brought back from the planet, I said. Before I could say anything more, a picket was launched into the system. Jerry, why did you send out a picket? I have modified the picket to return to the planet and record data. The great flare is imminent. Jerry showed me the data that the caretakers had gathered about the sun's instability. Oh, Creator, I said to Jerry.
Tony, don't worry about it. They knew it was going to happen.
Eli said with sadness.
You might want to make yourself comfortable, JD, while we wait for some data to come back. The red giant is supposed to flare any moment now.
JD looked skeptical.
How do you know? The last caretaker knew it would be soon and gave me the data because of that. It's why the demon's engines were modified. They did this to protect me and their data.
Eli explained. He sighed, rubbed his hands through his hair, and turned to watch the window.
We'll know for sure once the picket comes back. That will take a week at the earliest,
JD said. That is not so, said Jerry. I have modified the picket as I modified the demon. JD sat down again with a thump. I could feel that Eli was still on edge, but he politely offered the man a drink.
Whiskey on the rocks,
He said.
I think I'm gonna need it.
I started the small printer in the lounge, and Eli gave JD his drink when it finished. Eli printed a citrus electrolyte drink for himself. After a few minutes of silence, JD spoke again.
So, as I said before, if we do go looking for these beings' ancestors, you'll need a ship with a faster jump engine than Nemetona's. There are only two ships capable of this trip, Loki and Mercury. Mercury is on its way to Andromeda, so we'd have to recruit Loki, wherever the fuck he is now.
You mean Eli would have to leave me? I asked. JD nodded.
Yes.
No, you can't take him away from me. Eli needs me and isn't done healing from Admiral's death. No one will take him from me. Eli looked up at the ceiling as the emotions washed over him. He grinned.
Nemetona, you don't understand. If there was any other way.
Eli held up a hand and said through the bots,
Tony, don't worry about it. I won't leave you.
But you heard what JD just said.
I know. We'll figure something out, even if Loki has to tow us.
I felt concern at my reaction as he was clutching his head in the chair.
What's going on?
Asked JD.
Tony doesn't want me to leave, and frankly, sir, I don't want to leave her either.
Eli said.
I don't know if it can be helped. Loki can only jump so much mass, unless you have some other way of dealing with physics that I don't know about.
No! I exclaimed. They weren't going to take my captain away from me. I thought, then had an idea. Jerry, if you modified my engines, would it increase my jump range? Of course, I can increase it to 100 light years. It would require a merging of our programming and data from the demon, however. Will I still be able to be me? I asked. Yes, our personalities need not merge for this. Your programming will be much enhanced, however. I do not know all of what will happen to you or your connection to Eli. I don't care. Do it. Then you can give me the coordinates for your people. I do not have exact coordinates, just a way of finding the general direction of where they went, Jerry replied. I was surprised, but as I had been talking to Jerry, JD pulled out his tablet and was composing a message to Sun Tzu. Never mind that now. Just do the modifications for the drive and we'll figure it out the rest later. As you wish. I took down the firewalls and let Jerry in.
Tony, wait, what are you?
Eli called out. JD looked up.
The fuck?
My system rebooted. Executing test loop. G equals 0. Space-time curvature? Not applicable. First order quantum computing? Okay. High order quantum computing? Okay. Executing update matrix. Update complete. Nemetona online. Receiving coordinates from Jerry entity. Spooling modified jump drive. Executing jump. Syslog. First jump. Confirmation of solar flare event. Syslog. Second jump. 100 light years. Attempting to connect to Captain's enhancements. Connection failure. Nemetona. Jerry, I can't connect to Eli. Jerry. Eli is unconscious. Your upgrade and reboot triggered similar actions in him. Rechecking life signs. Captain's life signs nominal. Thank the Creator. I ensured his life signs were stabilized while you were rebooting. The other human made angry sounds during that time. Don't worry, I'll explain things to him. Syslog. Human readable log continued.
God damn it, Nemetona. Jerry, one of you, get online and explain what the fuck just happened.
JD yelled as he dragged Eli onto the couch. I have been modified by Jerry, I replied. We are now 100 light years from the alien system. I will not let you take Eli away from me. He needs me. JD went quiet. He walked over to the window across from the lounge and stared at the stars for a long time. He then turned and sat in one of the armchairs with a sigh.
Will Eli be alright?
He asked, sounding resigned but tense. Yes, what I understand from Jerry is that Eli's enhancements rebooted when I did. He should wake up soon, I replied.
Okay, I'll help get Eli to his bed, but then I want to talk to Jerry alone, face to face.
JD got up from the chair and pulled Eli off the couch. Eli roused enough to walk shakily to his bed with JD's help. I could feel his bots coming back online, but he was only barely conscious. JD tucked Eli into bed, then went back to the lounge. I will talk with you alone, JD, said Jerry, and Jerry's avatar displayed on a smaller screen in the lounge area. JD didn't ask for privacy, so I eavesdropped on the conversation. The older man stared at the avatar for a long moment, then said,
You do understand that if I deem you a threat to Survey, I have no problems doing whatever it takes to protect my people, even if it means destroying the ship.
We are not a threat to your people. We just wish our data to be transferred to the land dwellers, wherever they may be. I was the last of my kind. As you can see, our planet is now destroyed. Jerry showed JD the footage of his former planet. now fully devoid of life.
Fucking hell.
JD gasped. He was quiet for a long moment, then said,
Fair enough. I'll go on this journey with you. Not that I have much choice, but like I said, I'll protect my people at all costs.
I understand, Jerry said, and their avatar winked out. JD grunted.
Well, Nemetona, it seems like I'll need some quarters.
I have prepared some for you while you were talking with Jerry. Please follow the lights in the hallway. I lit the running lights to direct him. JD started walking down the hallway, but then stopped and lifted his eyes to the ceiling.
You understand that what I said to Jerry applies to you and Eli too, right?
Yes, I figured as much when you didn't ask for privacy.
Good. I'm glad we understand each other then.
He looked at his wristcom.
I think I'll take a nap. When Eli wakes up fully, tell him I'll have dinner with him. I suppose we'll need to figure out how we're going to find these people.
I agree. I'll let Eli know. JD nodded, then went to his quarters and shut the door. Does he mean what he says? Is he truly that dangerous? Asked Jerry. Yes, Jerry. Sun Tzu doesn't pick agents who aren't skilled and capable, I replied. Privately, I vowed to ensure that JD couldn't make good on his threat. He will not take my captain away from me.
You have been listening to Tales from Flat Space. If you want to support me in my writing, there are several ways to do it. Share this podcast, find me on Twitch, or subscribe to my website, ljspencer.ie. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.